Yeah, that's right. I see the chat. I see y'all rocking. I see y'all coming. Hit that like button as you enter the building. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. Show your love. Show your support. You know what I'm saying? This that dope soul. This that new thing. Nobody don't know about it.
Salute, Knick family. Welcome to the Just Knickin' It Weekly Show. I'm your host, Stephanie, a.k.a. Queen, joined by Geoff Klafter from the Happily Ever Klafter Daily Sports Blog, Ajay, Hollywood, Green Lantern, the villain. I am Jerrell, Dope Soul alumni, also host of Giants, Die Hard Giants podcast live. You can catch him every Tuesday, 9 p.m., and then Jay Boogie, a.k.a. the closer, in the house rocking with us. How's everybody doing?
Cool. Salute to the chat.
All right.
Great, beautiful. Hope you all are well. Shout out to the chat.
Yeah, for sure. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Knicks are playing well. There's some storylines running through the Knick community that I want to ask you guys about. Everybody know this is the weekly show. It's pretty relaxed. Think barbershop, think hair salon, think backyard barbecue where you just laying back and kicking it, about your favorite team. And in this case, it is the Knicks. The Knicks are 5-3 on the season, 5-0 at home, 0-3 on the road. We're gonna take care of that soon. But we've been playing pretty well of late. I think the vision that Mike Brown had and that we all had listening to him talk when he got the job, I think particularly in the second half of the Minnesota game, we got a chance to really see it and what it could look like. Just talk to me about eagle-eyed view, what you've seen so far this season that has you hyped about this team, that makes you think that this can actually be the year. Let's start with Boogie. We haven't seen him in a while. What you seeing, Boogie, that has you excited about this team? Shout out to the chat, by the way. Coach in the house, Born Freedom. Yeah. Appreciate you.
Yes, shout out to the chat, man. Blessings, life, health, happiness to any and everybody. Anybody going through anything, we don't pray that you go through it. We pray that you get through it. His name just, suddenly slipped my mind, but I want to send condolences and prayers out to the family, to the defensive end guy, to the Dallas Cowboys. We want to recognize you, you know what I'm saying? So young, so talented, so gifted, you know what I'm saying? And we wish the prayers and the blessings throughout your entire family. And even though we're Giants fans, we wish prayers throughout the Dallas Cowboy community in Texas. What's got me, man, I think the last time I was on this show, I told y'all I'm riding with Mikal Bridges. This is the guy right here for me that has everything turned around. This is the guy that all the pressure really is, to me, is on him because of what happened with him and, our ex-coach. And I was looking for him to make sure he stands out this year. Last season, we know he came to the Knicks, but this year he's showing that he's playing for the Knicks. I'm really happy with his play, and he's become our vocal voice leader that I've been seeing and I've been watching. As you've seen the game before the last game, there was a fast break and he got back and the guy missed the layup, but other guys didn't get back, and he called out OG about it, you know what I'm saying, about y'all getting back, you know what I'm saying. The play always carries over. So he's showing that he's really a vocal leader, and the thing about it, the respect that he's receiving amongst him being a vocal leader, it played a lot with OG being called out and being seen and on TV and national TV. He didn't respond in a negative way. He responded in the, okay, you're right. And I was out of position. I didn't get back. You're right. Because you know how quick it is, guys can, snap in a different way. We don't have them type guys. That's another great thing. We got great attitude guys. He didn't snap in a different way, and it did not allow the media to get it and twist it in a different way how they would have had liked to have it if he and Mikal would have been, gotten into like a little argument or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But my guy is Mikal Bridges. And then after that, man, I just love how the guys are starting to follow suit of what, Coach, Mike Denzel Brown is showing these guys and leading these guys, and they're following him, they're understanding it, what he's bringing to the table, and they're willing to make sure that they're doing their role and their part to be successful in this new offense and this new coaching staff that we have now. But my guy has been Mikal Bridges, and I'm happy about what he's doing, what he's playing, and what he's leading on the floor. It's not scoring every night. It's just always something. He doesn't stagnate his game into one thing. Is either this or that, or I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. He's always doing something different, and I appreciate Mikal Bridges being in New York City balling for us this season, because last year he was just moving his furniture and everything over here, getting used to the city. But now he's balling. So let's go, Bridges.
Facts. Jerrell, what has impressed you or have you excited about this team that, this might be the year?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. Remember I say 20 games, I'm not going to get too high or too low regardless of what happened. We less than 10 games in. What we at? 8 games? 8
games. You right. All right, Jerrell. You gotta bust the bubble real early. All right, it's 8 games. But we 5-0 at home though.
You're right, but I just remember last week. Remember how everybody was last week?
It was a funeral.
Steph, people was waiting. People was waiting for us to come on just to talk that mess, man. Talk about how the roster had failures in it, had, all that.
Yeah.
All Mike Brown didn't know how to coach. We missed Tibbs and all that. Now we win a few games at home, and all of a sudden, we going to the championship. So I think, I like to try to stay even keel. Hopefully the chat will be happy and we won't get that, the backlash that we got last episode. But yeah, like the last game that we played against Minnesota last night was our most complete game by far to me on offense and defense. And I think last game actually showed what this team is actually capable of. Like when all of us are firing on all cylinders, I mean, look what we can do. Like Minnesota is a very, very good team. They're a very good defensive team too. And we made them look like a college team at one point, especially in the second half. Yeah. We scored almost 90 points in the second half alone. So, just by seeing that, how the ball moves on offense, I'm definitely excited about this team. I'm just, I haven't jumped all the way yet. You know what I'm saying?
He's staying in the building for now. He hadn't taken a leap off the.
Yeah, not totally. I got like half me out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not completely jumping out yet, but yeah, it's looking good. Like if we play like we played last night, I don't know that many teams that could beat us in a 7-game series. I'm excited about that.
That is a fact. Ajay, what's impressed you early in the season that makes you think that this could be the year?
Well, I want to say something about last night's game before, early in the season, before the entire 8 game, right? So I was really looking forward to last night's game because I really wanted to see what this team could do. First of all, when they're healthy, and second of all, against very good competition, right? I mean, Minnesota's not the greatest team, but they're a very good team out west, right? They went to the conference finals last season.
2 years in a row.
2 years in a row. So that's a good team. And I really wanted to see, like, we're healthy, they healthy, like how we measure up to them. And I was not disappointed. I was very happy how we performed. There was a little back and forth in the beginning. They threatened to make this a very competitive game, but by the third quarter, we ran with it. Okay. And very, very important. Jerrell said, see what we could do on offense and on defense. And on defense, man, anybody who underestimate the value of Mitchell Robinson on this team, man, you don't know hoops or you don't know this team. There's something you don't know.
Talk about it.
No, I mean the guy, his value to this team is incredible. Like I mean, I'm sure you could find somebody. People talk about trading him all the time, but if this guy can stay healthy, there's no way you trade him, because his impact, not just on the defensive end, but on offense, because he's crashing the board. He keeps somebody occupied. There's somebody that's worried about Mitchell Robinson at all times, so that opens up the lane. Okay, so he does a lot of little things. There's a lot of things he does that don't show in the stat sheets that you can't measure. You have to watch the game to understand how important he is to this team. All right, so if he can stay healthy, man, we're gonna go very far. And the whole season, the entire season, we got to get this together. For last year we were a pretty good road team last season. We need to get back to that. We need to get back to that good road team that we were last season. And it's not like, I mean, yeah, it's early on in the season. I do expect this team to get better and better. But right now, I feel like our record of that 3-game losing streak, I feel like that doesn't really reflect our record. It's just that we just didn't get in the groove yet, as far as playing on the road. So, but I expect this team to be better. So far, so good. You're starting to see Mike Brown's rotation take shape, and it's starting to look like, okay, like what he's doing. Like, it didn't take long for us to start seeing what his plans are for this team. So far, so good.
Yeah, definitely tightening up that bench, and the bench has responded in spades.
Yep.
Geoff, what has you excited so far in the season?
Well, if I was to tell you when the season started that Jalen Brunson was going to be shooting 46% from the field and 33% from three through 8 games, and that the Knicks would still have a top 5 offense and top 5 net rating, you'd have said I was crazy. But here we are, right? That's the reality of the situation, and we're 5-3. And I don't think we've seen the best out of Towns yet either. I mean, against Washington, he was amazing, I'll admit. But on a consistent basis, we know what Cat can do, and we've seen glimpses of it both from both of our superstars, but we haven't really seen the best of them yet. And still, we've put together 3 outstanding performances in a row. I mean, we're the only team to beat Chicago all season long. I think that's a stand-up win. And then, the fountain of youth that is MSG gave Anthony Edwards his health back so he could be there against us, and it didn't matter. I mean, he was the worst player on the court. I think he was minus 29 in 25 minutes. So, maybe you should have stayed at home. But the fact that we dismantled Minnesota like that, to me, is impressive, especially when you consider the fact that DiVincenzo and Randall really had great games for them. Like they played at a high level, and Minnesota shot the ball really, really well, and the Knicks still eviscerated them. And that, to me, that speaks volumes. When the other team has it going and they still can't keep up, we managed to outlast and outblast them, and that was really, really impressive.
Yeah, I agree with all of you. I think what I will add is it's good to see. What I think bodes well for the Knicks is the bench. The bench coming around. Like we know who the core 4 is, right? That starter is Mitch when he's available. When not, it could be Deuce, it could be Shamit. We've seen Hook Porty. We've seen different, but it seems like behind that core 4 is Deuce, Clarkson, Mitch, even though Mitch starts, and Hart. Like those 4 role players in support of that core 4 makes this a really dangerous team. So it's not just them individually and their counting stats. It's each of them brings something different and a little unique to this team, and provides that lineup versatility that we need, right? So we can go big with Towns at the 5. We could put Mitch at the 5 if we want a more defensive unit. We can put McBride at the point of attack. Now allows both Bridges and OG to roam if they're in there at the same time, right? And as good as they are on the ball, they're also pretty good playing the passing lanes and like center field in the back line of the defense as well. So you get to see more of Bridges and OG defensively when McBride is in the game. Hart, I'm not even counting on Hart in these threes, because if Hart can hit 3-pointers, he's a starter. He's the 5th starter if he can hit, if he can hit threes. But I'm not even worrying about that. His defense is better. He's He's driving in the lane. He's creating for himself. He's creating for others. And then you have Mitch. Right now he's playing in short spurts. I don't know if that's going to continue. I know he's not playing in back-to-backs, but I'm not sure if this is how they're going to this is how his minutes are going to be throughout the course of the season, like just 3-minute spurts. But last night he played in his 16 minutes. Me and Geoff was talking about it earlier. I feel like he's played better in that 16 minutes than he played the 33 minutes that he's played in total before that. Just the double efforts, defensively, and his rotation, and it's been really, really good. And like I said this morning or at lunchtime, I'm not concerned about Mitch or Hart's limitations because we have the lineup now that can cover up any of those mistakes. You want to foul Mitch? That's okay. We could take him, out the game, and still have a semblance of a defense. It's not going to be the same as if he's in the game, but it's not like the defense will fall apart depending on who you put in. If they're laying off of Josh Hart and he's not knocking down shots and they're using his guy to roam and crowd and double team, you could take Hart out the game. That's how deep this team is. And we haven't even seen the best. And some would say we won't, but I believe we will. We still haven't gotten consistent contributions from Yabusele yet. You know what I mean? Shamet is in and out. Sometimes his minutes are high. Other times his minutes are relatively low. Even if he becomes situational, that's still a good player to have coming off your bench. So the pace, the space, the 3-pointers, I'm just really excited about this team. And the last thing I'll say, Geoff, is about Cat. I think I'm not sure if it's going to be Brunson and Cat leading the charge every single night. I just think it's going to be where the ball bounces that night, where the matchups are, who's hitting the shots. Yeah, that's
a great
just
luxury to have. To be able to even say that is incredible. It shows you how good this roster actually is.
Yeah. Let's talk more about the bench. 40 some odd points the past 3 games. Am I right? Or something to that effect.
They had
or
53 last game. I don't know what they were the 2 games before that.
I know the game before that they had 40. I'm not sure. So I don't know if it's 2 out of the last 3 or 3 out of the last 3. But what are you seeing? What are you seeing from the bench? Is there any particular person that's standing out on the bench? Is there a group of players when they play together that stands out for you? What are you seeing from the bench? Jerrell, we'll start with you.
Glad to see Deuce back. Prayers to him and his family from what he went through. Glad to see him back. He's playing like his usual self. I think when Deuce is hitting shots, I think he could be one of the best bench players in the league as long as he's hitting his shots. I like him and Clarkson playing together. I also like Clarkson and Cat, the way they play off of each other too. I like that pair up. Josh Hart is looking like Josh when he's healthy. Like he had a back issue, so as long as his back is okay, I don't think I have any type of worry about Josh. I think the shooting is going to come and go. But I think if Yabusele actually plays like he's supposed to be playing, I will say that we will definitely have a good formidable bench going into the playoffs. Without him, though, I think we're going to struggle a little bit, in the playoffs and going forward in the season. But yeah, I think Yabusele, once he gets going, I don't even count Mitch as a bench player. I count him as a starter and a bench player. Like when he comes in and he does his thing. So I don't really count him. But yeah, Clarkson, Deuce, Josh, I like that 3-guard lineup, and I like Cat with them too. And as long as Mitch is, regardless of who Mitch is playing with, whether he starts or not, as long as you surround him with 4 shooters, I think we'll be just fine. But yeah, I like the bench. As long as they stay healthy, keep their head in the game and hit shots, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah. Ajay, your thoughts on the bench? Any particular player or the bench as a whole that stood out for you?
Oh, there are several. Of course, Deuce, as Jerrell mentioned, Deuce McBride, he come back and he's playing extremely well on both ends of the floor. Like he's being a pest on defense, and I don't know the stats, but I feel like every time he shoots the ball from three, man, that high arcing, it looks like it's gonna go in. You feel like it's gonna go in, so that's a good sign. That's my gauge. That's how I measure. Those are my stats. If you feel like it's gonna go in, that's a good one. And of course, Jordan Clarkson is coming around. Like he's being more active, and he's trying on defense also. He's not that cone that we used to see him like when he was playing out west. So he's actually trying, and he's trying to play the passing lane. He's trying to stick his hand in there, trying to pick the ball. He's doing a lot of things on defense. Of course, well, I don't know. I mean, Mitch is not a bench player, but Josh Hart seems to be back to his old self. He had a tremendous effort yesterday. I even though he's not a shooter, Queen, sometimes I really want him to shoot the ball. Like keep shooting it, because I mean he passed on some shots, man. I'm like, man, I'd have take that. If I was over like 20, I would take that shot. Because it's like right there, man. That one's gonna drop and it's gonna get you going. So sometimes you got to take the shot. And like Jerrell mentioned, so Yabusele, I don't understand. Like I feel like last season he was more like he was a better player in Philly. So I don't know what's taking him so long to get into that player that he was last season. But shout out to Mega. But if we can get that guy that was in Philly last season, man, we're gonna be in good shape going into the postseason. And I'm looking forward to him getting into that shape, because I don't know, maybe he was out of shape in training camp, and when that happens, usually after the first couple of months, those guys get into shape, and hopefully he'll get to play better. I mean, he does have a little bit of a 3-point shot, which we need. Sometime from that position, from somebody coming off the bench. But maybe he just needs some conditioning. I think he'll be fine. I hope he's fine with that. Shamet, hey, whatever we can get from Shamet, we'll take. All right. another guy, shoot the ball, because when he get hot, he get hot. So just whatever, if you're open, man, take the shot. And we know he puts in a lot of effort on defense, so continue to do that. And we need both that. We need that at both ends of the floor, like the effort on defense and then the aggressiveness on the on offense. So hey, listen, it's taking shape, man. It's starting to take shape. What Leon Rose and Mike Brown and the team back there, what they were planning. So I think at least we see what they're trying to do. Whether it'll work or not, we don't know, but we see what it is that they were trying to do when they put this together.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm getting from you, Ajay and Jerrell, is you guys are still pretty high on Yabusele, and that we'll need him going down the stretch. I mean, we are thin in the power forward, and he plays center as well. We may not like it, but he's out there. There's lineups with him and Hart as the 4 and the 5, him and OG as the 4 and the 5. So,
well, it's not really that high. It's just that we're not that low on him, because I think especially Jerrell's in Philly. So I don't know. You probably know what he could do, be a little more than most guys, because I'm sure even if you don't watch Philly games, but you hear the noise where you at, right? And he was really good last season. He was very, very good with the 76ers.
Yeah, he's definitely played better than he has this year so
yeah.
far. But it's early, so I'm not worried yet.
Yep. Boogie, talk to us about the bench and what you've seen. Yeah, what you've seen.
Nights like this, I wish that raindrops would fall.
Go on, Eddie Kane.
Yeah, that quiet boy don't came out from behind that curtain, and I'm talking about Josh Hart. A lot of people was, trying to like throw him up under the bus a little bit early on in the season and stuff like that. It takes time when you got a back injury. And now, and he's playing with a spleen on his finger, and he's playing in a new system. It's taking time for him to figure out what it is that he need to do to add to the offense. What I mean by him adding to the offense is Josh is the only guy on our team that doesn't need an offense set being called for him, and he's still effective as far as, whatever the offense is doing. He can do so many different things on the floor. So when he's at his highest, as we have seen over the last 2 games, welcome back, Josh, because now people are understanding that spooky hours is just past, even though it's Halloween, but this is starting to get real scary with this dude right here. With the way that Josh goes and then the way that Deuce goes, those are 2 leaders coming off this bench. Those are 2 leaders. How they go, everybody else going to follow suit. And when was the last time that we had 4 effective guards that could come on the floor and be effective at different times off the bench? You know what I'm saying? We got 4 guys that can come off the bench as guards and can play, you know what I'm saying, in a lot of different ways of this game, this basketball game. With Clarkson has never been in a position as he's been in where it was he's that easy. He's that open. You mean right. I'm only going to get one-on-one coverage at times? A lot of times I'm going to catch it, I'm going to be wide open. He's never had that. So he's getting accustomed and used to that. You know what I'm saying? As far as, him being a guy that he's been a major guy over there in Utah throughout his career. But now he's around guys that are other guys that are major guys. And now you can just fill in the gaps. Yo, Jordan Clarkson, I look for him really, really start taking off. When he's averaging like 12, 13 points off the bench, he's going to be in considerations as a 6 man off the bench, and I'm happy for that. Yabusele, I've been noticing that Brown is making him his own personal project. When he comes out of the game, it's always hold up, and he's talking to him before he goes sit down, giving him the idea what he wants, what he needs to do, and if he's doing the good, right things, he's reminding him what he's doing good so he can continue on getting better. Yabusele comes along, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a minute with him. He has to fit in. He's not used to being in the office a set like this, ball movement, cutting and all that, you know what I'm saying? But I love the bench, the acquisitions we got. We got a long rotation. He's using the rotation. And then guys know when they do come in the game, being compared to last season, they're not going to be yanked right back out because Tom is willing to put the starters right back in. He's allowing guys to play, and everybody is staying fresh, and everybody's getting minutes, and they're productive minutes on the floor from all different areas of the game. So I love what the bench is going on, how they coming in, how they playing. I already don't say Leon don't stack the rotation, so when the subs come in, I feel the spirits of Anthony Mason. So that's a bar later on down the line. Y'all be hearing that soon. But I'm happy with what we got going on as far as that bench rotation, and they're playing like they don't even deserve to come out at times. So yeah, I love it.
Sorry about that. Having a little internet issues on this side. Geoff, did you get a chance to speak on the bench?
I think that everybody has spoke better than I can, but I will say something I saw in the last game that I really liked was the 2-man game between Clarkson and Cat. I really feel like that's a dangerous pick and roll opportunity that we pairing that's kind of, other than Brunson and Cat, it's kind of unique. So when Brunson is off the floor, I think that really opens up a lot of things on the offense, and it maximizes Clarkson's skill set as a ball handler and gets him open looks. And I've been highly critical of him. He's been an inefficient player throughout his career, but last 2 or 3 games, I've really liked Clarkson's process. I think that he's not, just letting it fly randomly. He's trying to play within the flow of the offense. His defense has been good. And so really impressed with what I've seen from him as far as playing within himself and helping the team when he's in the game, even if it's only for 15, 16 minutes. So that's really promising. And so I am shocked actually at the bench performance these last couple games. I was really pleasantly surprised with how well they've played these last 2 games. And really Deuce is just kind of coming back. He kind of had a 2-game doldrum after he lost his grandma, and he was focused and on another level last night. And when he's clicking and Hart's clicking and Clarkson is clicking, that is a game changer. And Minnesota felt every single bit of those Timberlands in their rear end on Wednesday night.
Yeah, for sure. The play with Clarkson and Towns, when Towns had the ball, Clarkson, he's erratic at times, but he understands the game. He set up that backdoor cut that Towns, hit him for the layup by, cutting up toward Cat, and then, cutting backdoor, understanding that Cat could, can make that pass. And I think we're gonna need a player like Clarkson in the playoffs when, having players that can get their own shot is at a premium when things bog down. OG, we got to talk about OG. He's getting better at it. I don't know if him getting his own shot is at playoff level, but I know Brunson can do that. I feel comfortable with Bridges, and I feel comfortable with Clarkson being able to create their own shot. So I'm really pulling for him to, have a really good season for the Knicks and continue to play within the system. To your point, Geoff, his process, he may not always shoot well, but are you making the right decisions, the right cuts? Are you sharing the ball, even if the shot is not, falling? So super excited about him. I wanted to ask you guys this question because I've seen it a few times on Twitter. We all know how well Mitch plays when he's healthy and he's on the floor. But there are some who believe that the Knicks cannot win a championship without Mitchell Robinson. So if Mitchell Robinson was to ever get injured and he couldn't finish the season, that this team couldn't win. And I've seen that. We're not winning nothing without Mitchell Robinson. We got to put him in bubble wrap. We got to make sure he's there. Not that it'll be harder, but that the Knicks can't win a championship without Mitchell Robinson. What's the panels, and the chat can also weigh in on this. What's your thoughts on that? And Geoff, you and I have been going last because we talk so much throughout the week. So
I'm good with that. I want to hear what Jay Boogie has to say.
Yeah.
And Jerrell and Ajay, I got no problem. Look, it's not about me. There's a lot smarter people up here than I am. Let's let them talk.
Yeah. So Jay Boogie, let's start with you, then Jerrell and Ajay. What's your thoughts on that?
With Mitch on the floor, matter of fact, we've seen what Mitch has looked like with the squad last year in the playoffs. We know what he's capable of doing. Crashing the boards. He can be a double-double machine. But right now they're limiting his playing time because they're low managing him to get him through. They're trying to get him through for a reason. He's a dominant threat on that floor. On both sides of the floor, the defensive end, the offensive end. Offensive end, that's most shots. On the defensive end, it's a threat down there. Don't come down here. I'm here. And you see him fly swatting everything down there, over the last couple of games that he does play. Of course, it's always, the injury thing that comes up, you know what I'm saying? Because we haven't had a full complete uninjured season with him. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, imagine if he's there and towards the end. It becomes a whole lot easier for us and a whole lot harder for the other teams we're playing than it is for us to be without him. And then they're playing against us and we don't have him. He's just that much of a dominant post threat, far as being on this floor. He anchors, he defends the backs of OG, the backs of Bridges. He's defending those guys. He's backing them up. And that you look how more aggressive those guys are, as far as their defense managing when he's in the game, knowing that he has their back. OG's going after more steals. He know he got them back there. Bridges is doing the same. They're going after more deflections. They're really pressing the overplay on defense because they know he's back there. So, I mean, I love Mitch here. I want to see him here. He's the oldest person on this team. He is the longest playing Knick on this squad right now. So everybody else that either came before Mitch or after Mitch are gone. I would like to see somebody here, stay upon this team. And I love for it to be Mitch. And I pray that he continue on staying healthy. I pray that the doctors that we got in effect, the things that they did last year to allow him to come back, it continues on playing his role. I pray that, this management, they're managing everything completely right for him. They see the long road, and we're trying to get out of 25 right now. We're trying to get into 26, that championship year. This is where that's the target. And we need Mitch to get there and go along with us. But I love Mitch here. I'm not trying to trade Mitch. Well, I ain't going to say I'm not trying to trade him unless something more dominant comes about. But anybody can be traded and get injured. We've been trying to trade him to Utah for that guy over there in Utah. Now he's out for the season. Sometimes you just can't duck injuries, and even though Mitch has been injured type guy, I believe this is the season that he's going to be here for us, and they're managing his playing time and everything because they see the foreshadow of the future is with a championship with Mitch on this roster, So I'm happy with Mitch. I don't know about anybody else. I don't listen too much of what some people say about having him and not having him. You know what I'm saying? I look at the results that he's on the floor with more than anything.
But can the Knicks win without him? This team.
Okay, I'm gonna say it again. It becomes that much easier for us to win a championship and that much harder for somebody we playing to stop us. At the same time, it's that much harder for us to win a championship without this guy. I think we need him more to win a championship because of the things that he allow our wing players to do more. I think it's more easier with him on the floor for us to win a championship, and it's much more harder for us to win it without him because Yabusele, it's not it. Huck Porty, he's not experienced. He's not ready yet, And then if you're moving Towns to position, you know what I'm saying, for him to stay at center, that can affect where he could be as far as at power forward if Mitch is here. But I think it's easier for us to win a championship with Mitch, and it's harder for us to win without him.
Okay, Jerrell?
I don't think we win a championship without Mitchell Robinson. He's not the only player on that team that I believe that, though. I think we have to be all hands on deck. But him specifically in a 7-game series, if he's healthy, we are a problem. We are hard out as long as Mitch is playing in a 7-game series. Can we get to the playoffs without him? Yes.
Yes.
Could we beat OKC in a 7-game series in the finals? Probably not. I think it's really that simple. I think what Mitch brings to the table is needed in a series like that, especially against them or against any good team that's going to be like in the finals at the end of the year. I don't think there's any team that's going to be in the playoffs. It will be a bad thing if Mitchell Robinson was on the floor for us. The things that he does obviously has to be game planned for. Just by them fouling him and playing the hack and Mitch role, that's being game planned for. And he's not even an offensive player. They just want him off the floor that bad on the defensive end. So in order to win a championship, we're going to need everybody, including Mitchell Robinson.
Okay. Ajay?
I'll be a little more blunt about it. No, we cannot win a championship without Mitch. This team, and we're not talking about trade, get somebody in there, right? With this group, pull out Mitch, we can't win a championship. Bottom line. All right. And Jerrell, not just on the defensive end, on the offense also. Mitch doesn't score. But in yesterday's game, so take yesterday's game, for instance, right? Mitch played 9 minutes and 12, 15 seconds or something, right? He scored 8 points. That's the bonus. That's the gravy. But he gave you 9 offensive rebound and 1 defensive rebound, right? That, just so you understand, that 9 boards on the offense is 9 possessions, 9 extra possessions. When you convert that in potential points, that's anywhere between 18 to 27 points, somewhere between there. So he gives you the opportunity to score 18 to 27 more points in 16 minutes. That is insane, for somebody to give you that kind of contribution on a team, in that short of time. So if this guy is healthy, we really have a very good shot. If he could play, like, you don't expect him to give you 8 points. I don't, the 8 points is just like, that's the gravy that's the cherry on top. But if he give you 9 offensive boards, on defense, he probably there probably was no need for him to grab defensive boards, because him standing there, nobody was going in there. Everybody was trying to shoot from a distance, and then other guys was grabbing the boards. OG had some boards, Brunson, like other guys, like they didn't have to fight to get the rebounds on defense. But on offense, he's giving you 9 extra possessions a game. That is incredible. Like when you look at what that can give, like the advantage that gives you on the other teams, it just makes the team that much better. I don't think we can win a championship if with just this group and you just pull them out. I don't think we can win. Like if you trade him, you bring somebody else, depending on who you bring. But if you just pull them out of what we have, I don't think we can win. He's part of the unit that's gonna win. If we're gonna win, he's part of the unit that's gonna win.
All right, Geoff, your take.
Well, I think what we have to remember is there are certain players who perform really well in the regular season and then they fall off in the playoffs. And then there's other players that come up and they shine during the playoffs. And I've read a lot in the chat. Well, he doesn't average a double-double. Well, he doesn't have to average a double-double for this team. In the last 3 postseasons, he dominated both of Cleveland's bigs a couple years back in that one playoff season. He was instrumental in us beating Joel Embiid in Philadelphia. And then last year, Boston was so worried about his offensive rebounding, they were literally double teaming him after the shot went up to prevent him from getting the offensive rebound. And that changed the complexion of that series, not to mention what he did defensively. And we all remember the sequence where he guarded all 5 players on the court effectively and led to the blocked shot. So, he's not going to be a double-double guy. That's like, if that's your expectation of him, then you're going to be sorely disappointed and you think that he's not very good. But it's not a Towns versus Mitch conversation either. It's the fact that we can have both, right? It's not Mitch is replacing Towns. That's foolishness. Towns is an all-NBA talent. You don't want that. Mitch is a weapon that we can utilize and makes us much more difficult because he's a rim protector unlike anybody else that we have on this roster. So he gives us an added element that is frequently needed during the postseason, having someone who can block shots and prevent people. It's not just about blocking the shots. It's also about people just not going into the paint because they know they're going to get their shot blocked, right?
Correct.
It's so you're limiting what they're going to do, and so that's invaluable, even if it's just for short stretches. If you're rating the players, if you're ranking the players on this team, he may be 6th or 7th on the list in terms of rotation players, but that doesn't mean that he's not an effective piece that can be a core cog in what we do. And the best version of ourselves is one where we have a healthy Towns and a healthy Robinson, and you can, because you can play them apart or you can play them together, either one. And we saw that last night was a great example. He was affecting the game on offense so much because we had shooters all around him, and you can't stop him on the offensive glass with one player. He's averaging 13.6 rebounds per offensive
36.
rebounds per 36. That is a ridiculous number. That's like 5 more than Steven Adams, who we learned from, for pity's sake. And so last thing I'll say about Mitch is shout out to the Carmelo Anthony, because it was the trade of Melo to OKC that got us a draft pick that allowed us to take Mitch in the first place. So shout out to Melo. Even when he leaves us, he's helping us out.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you guys, but my take is a little different. And that is, if you're a front office and you're resting your hopes on winning a championship on Mitchell Robinson, I feel like you underperforming. And I'm not saying that we can't. I don't disagree with you guys. Our chances of winning a championship is better with Mitchell Robinson. He raises our ceiling. He brings lineup versatility. We're just a better team with Mitchell Robinson on the floor. But to build a team that can't win a championship if you don't have a player who has a significant injury history is a fail on my part as far as the front office is concerned. And again, I'm not talking about what Mitch brings. I'm not talking about our chances not being great. That's not what I'm talking. So I'm not arguing with anybody on the panel. But what I'm saying is you cannot build a team to win a championship and it's dependent on a player being healthy. So basically, we can't win a championship unless Mitchell Robinson is healthy. I just feel like if you're a front office, that's a huge gamble to build a roster like that. And that's where we are, and that's where we're finding ourselves. So I hope it works out. I personally feel like we can. I think the margins would be slimmer. I think that, others would have to, definitely step up, a bit more. So I think it's possible, but I agree. I do think the margins are slimmer without Mitchell Robinson. But as a front office, you cannot build a team where your chances of winning a championship depends on a guy who has as significant a injury history as the Knicks. Like, as a front office, you just can't do that. You got to try to mitigate risk. And that's why I always said coming into this season, we needed a veteran point guard and we needed another big. Now, and I've said this too, in all fairness, they may have tried to do that and they just money wise or in terms of who was available, they couldn't make it happen. But you got to try to mitigate these risks to take advantage of the opportunity that is the Eastern Conference. So let's see how it goes. Let's see, if Mitchell Robinson can stay healthy with the load management and the limited minutes and them playing him in spurts. If all of this bodes well for him being available for the 16 games that it's going to take to win a championship. Anything else on that?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. Let me. The chat actually wanted to weigh in. East Blue Drew. The only thing is we won't be able to use him in a 7-game series. I'm not sure why not. I don't think there's any back-to-backs in the 7-game series.
I'm guessing he's saying that he will probably be hurt by then or not available.
Is that what you're saying, East Blue Drew?
I think he's more or less talking about because we're doing the low management and he's playing every other game or something like that. But when it gets to the playoffs, there's no low management. Everybody's going to be playing every game. If you can suit up, you're going to be playing. So playing game 1 and then you don't play again to game 3 and then play game 5, they're not doing that with Mitch. They're trying to get him to the playoffs.
But there's usually 1 or 2 days in between each game anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it's always a day between the games anyway. But they're not taking no games off in the playoffs. Period. Right. That's what I think he's really alluding to. So I just wanted to Throw that out there.
So in your opinion, if there was a back-to-back, Mitch would play. Like the load management is just to get to the playoffs. If there was a back-to-back in the playoffs, he would play both games.
Yeah, if it was a back-to-back in the playoffs, oh yeah, he's going to play because if they play a back-to-back, then they're going to have at least 2 games off because they're going to have 2 days to travel.
Right.
Back-to-back going to be in one state. Right. Like if it's in New York, game 1, say if they play game 1 and game 2 would be Tuesday and a Wednesday, they're probably not going to play no more until either Friday or Saturday. If they play back-to-back, but there's no back-to-back in the playoffs.
Okay. Marquel Wells, I hope I got that right. Need defense to win championships.
True.
Ralph Unreal, you can't win with offense only, need defense. Davis Smith, president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer of the Karl Anthony Towns fan club.
How many names you get?
He got them all, baby.
He got them all.
David is locking. He might be Karl Anthony Towns. We haven't confirmed that. I'm just teasing David. He's just a sporty guy. I love it.
We went plenty without Mitch. Would love to trade for Daron Sharp to back up Mitch, but who we trading to to get him. All right, let's talk about OG. He's to me, I feel like he's turning into a two-way player right before our eyes. I see you, Jerrell. I know. And he's been pretty inconsistent with that. But this year, he's 4 straight 20-point games, averaging 2.4 steals. His rebounds is up to 6, something Geoff and I. We should have wagered on that, Geoff. But I know you were past the man, but I'm just saying. 6 rebounds, 18 points. He's at least coming into the Minnesota game. I believe I read somewhere that he was leading the league in corner threes made and was shooting around 50% from the corner. So his game and nothing, and he's not falling off on the defensive end, right? With what we're getting offensively. I'm not saying he's Kawhi Leonard, Jerrell, but I'm saying, do you agree or disagree that he is turning into a reliable two-way player? Ajay, we'll start with you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You said, Queen, he's picked it up on offense, and the defense does it. He had two steals yesterday, at least, that I remember. Right? He scored 25 points. Very active. He's grabbing rebounds, maybe 8 or 9 rebounds. He's out there mixing it up. Like he had 2 clean steals, but the other one, that other disruption that he caused, like, get their offensive set all discombobulated. So all that count for something. It doesn't show up on the stat sheets, but it does something. You got to remember, you got 24 seconds to do what you got to do. You take 5-6 seconds, just try to make up for OG Anunoby sticking his hand in there. That counts for something, So yeah, and again, I'm not looking at the stats, but looking at my own feeling when I watch the game. When OG Anunoby shoots the ball, I feel like it's going in. To me, that's a high percentage play. That's all I need to. That's a high percentage player right there for me. When he shoots it from 3, that one's most likely he's gonna go in.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that follow through though. Like with that first, I'm like, what is that? Like it's coming like off to the side or whatever it is, but it's money.
Yeah,
it's money.
Yeah. I'm still a bit worried about when he drives with his handle, he gets picked or he falls. He's still working out. Not as much this season though, but it's he's still got to work on that. He gets that, man. He settled that, man. He'd be good, man. He's gonna be good.
I'm not seeing that though. I'm not. Now when we get in the playoffs and stuff, things tighten up a little bit. Do I trust it?
Yeah.
But right now,
I mean, he's smart about it. Like, he doesn't drive in a crowd anymore. That's what when there's a crowd down low, he shoots the ball. He's starting to get it. You know, he understands not to drive in a crowd anymore. But you know,
good. That's good.
So he's being a little bit. He's being smart about it, and that's the way to play.
Yeah,
You know,
I've been really impressed.
He's a good shooter. And he had a couple of mid-range too that he's trying to get the mid-range stuff going too. So he's really putting the effort in on his offensive game.
Jerrell.
I
didn't say he was Kawhi. I didn't say he was Kawhi.
What's the question again?
Is he turning into a reliable two-way player? We all know what he can do defensively.
Only reason I'm saying no is because of the reliable part. Like, I just have to see it still. That's the only reason. Like, we had the same conversation, not this time last year, but we had something like this last year. And we kind of had it like a couple weeks ago also. But yeah, I think, for me, it's just the consistency of OG Anunoby. I don't have anything negative to say about him other than that. Can he be aggressive? I don't expect him to average 20 a night. He doesn't have to. Like, you got to be baby steps. Like, can I get 16 a night?
He's averaging 18 though.
It's been 8 games, Steph. so I get that. I'm not saying that he's not capable. I think because I see him being capable of it, I just want him to do it consistently. So until he does that, I won't turn the corner on him. But I don't have anything negative to say about it. Like, the way he played last night was awesome. He looks like an all-star. And when he plays like that, he looks like an all-star. He's an all-star when he does play like that. I just want him to play like that for an entire season. Yeah. So until that happens, it's not like I'm going, I'm a crap on him until he does it for an entire season. But can we get to the All-Star break before?
I'm just saying.
That's all. I just want to get to the All-Star break before I start crowning him like that. But yeah, OG, my guy, like, he's good. Like, I just want him to be more consistent. That's all. And he has been so far.
Yeah, he has. Boogie, is he looking like a two-way player to you or not quite?
I'm going to go ahead and jump all the way out the window on the 14th floor for Uncle Rel because he didn't want to do it. I've been already on board saying it's two all-star spots that's open. Tatum is not there, and Halliburton is not there. Our 2 wing guys is going to fulfill those 2 all-star spots this year. The thing about OG, I can deal with his inconsistency because when he's inconsistent as far as his play, that means he don't have a night off on defense. So when he has to turn up on his defensive end, you can look for the offensive end, to have, his ways. But when he has a night off on defense, he's cooking. The jumper looking like Mike Glenn, the stinger. He's knocking it down. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy with OG's game because every season since he's been here, we wondered, what can he do? What can he bring to the table differently other than his defense? Back-to-back years, he's showing you that he can get it done. We also seen him in the playoffs. He can get it done. He has good games in the playoffs. He's not scared of the moment. My thing is, I wonder how Toronto looking at him as far as him being in that orange and blue. They're the ones that's missing out because he was always a 4th, 5th option. Right here, he's a third. He's a third, sometime 4th option guy, you know what I'm saying? And he's always ready inside this system that Mike Brown has him in. The offense for him should be that much easier because the way the ball moves, he should receive the ball either on the go or receive the ball to catch and shoot, So I'm happy with OG's play. To me, he's going to be an all-star. His defense is already all first-team defense. He's just man, he's glued in right now. I can't say anything bad about him right now. I think he feels like I can take my game up to another notch for us to get to where we need to go on both sides of the floor. He's getting if he had a sick handle, he'd be completely unstoppable out there. But he's bullying guys in the paint.
Yes.
He don't care who's there. He's getting you out of the way. He's using his strength, his power. He's finishing at the basket. So hey, I'm great with OG, man. Shout out to OG. Shout out to our wing players. Go get them 2 all-star spots, man. Bridges and OG. Cause for real, everybody can talk about our 2 all-stars with Brunson and Towns, but when them 2 guys is gone, that makes our game that much better, So I look for them 2 guys right there in between Jalen and Towns to be the ones that be like, yeah, we arrived. So, they're one season late, but this is the season for them to be here right now. So I'm happy with OG.
Yeah, for sure. Geoff, what's your take on that?
Well, I think it's the factors for me is the volume of 3-point shot attempts going to be consistently this high, between 6 and 8 a game, and is the percentage going to continue to be as high as he's been very good from out there. So in order for him to make that next level leap that y'all are talking about, I think he's really got to get up 8 threes a game and make about 3 of them, right? Because I think that's gonna elevate him with the rest of his game and what he does, because he's a good dunker, he's strong. He's difficult to handle. I think the only game I really saw him struggle this year was when he was having to try and guard Giannis, and Giannis was just throwing him around like a rag doll. I mean, he really struggled in that matchup against Milwaukee, and it showed on both ends of the court. But man, he was good last night. He was tremendous.
Yeah.
I mean, he everything you could ask for and more. He was doing it all, and it's good that he has the freedom to do more. I think that you notice that both he and Mikal have kind of flourished, where they're not just kind of stuck in the corner and say, okay, all you're allowed to do is stand here and wait for a 3-point shot. Like, they're allowed to do more things within the flow of the offense. They're getting more touches, and they're rewarding they're rewarding their coach for trusting them to do those sorts of things. So kudos to them. Well done. Great start to the season, but 8 out of 82 is a long way to go, and so we don't want it to be a flash in the pan. We want it to be sustainable, and I really think he's going to have to keep up both the volume and the efficiency. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, I just love it. I just feel like he's growing right before our eyes. Yeah. Let me get to the chat. David Smith, I feel like you in the chat boxing with shadows. It may just be one person that has an issue with Cat. Nobody else seems to have an issue with Cat, and you coming with so much ammunition and the Eastern Conference Finals plus minuses and all of those. You're boxing with shadows here. Like it's we all down with Karl Anthony Town. Maybe one person in the chat is not. Yeah. I mean, anyway. East Blue Drew OG was killing last night. Yes, he's been good. He's been really good, and Bridges has fallen off scoring wise the past few games. And I just feel like when it comes to the All-Star team, you got to have stats. They're not looking beyond at on-off numbers and any of. They're not looking too too deep. So I'm pretty sure by the time the All-Star break, it'll even out and he'll be fine. But what I'm liking about Bridges is he just wants to win. Like, if the shots come to me and I could take them and it was within the flow of the offense, fine. If it doesn't come my way that night, fine. Doesn't seem to be a big deal. Coach Mike Brown, pace and aggressive passing lane and on-ball still attempts built for OG and Mikey B. Bridges. We had 102 shots. There is enough opportunity for everyone to eat. That's a fact. That hasn't been the case in every game, but last night it was. And part of that was due to the 21 offensive rebounds that the Knicks gathered last night. And Mitch with 9 of them. And the thing with Mitch, some of them he puts back, but he's spraying too. in a different way, right? He gets those offensive rebounds. You notice he turns right to the 3-point line, turns toward the 3-point line to hit a shooter. You know, so that must be something that they are practicing as well, because some of them he doesn't even look to score. He'll just get it, turn around, hit a 3-point shooter for a wide open shot. Actually, David Smith, I do like how Brunson playing last couple of games. It's how we should run the offense. I hear you. He's Blue Drew. The games we lost, we were missing Deuce and Mitch and only lost by single digits. Imagine if they played. Yeah, that's a fact. Anything else on what we've discussed so far? I do want to get into Brunson a little bit.
Queen.
Let's move on to Brunson. I want to hear.
Yeah, go ahead,
take on that.
Oh no, go ahead. I was gonna ask something silly.
That's okay. We got time for that.
Is David Smith really is Cat participating in the show? Is David? Is David?
Leave David Smith alone. David's my guy. David just loves Cat. Leave him alone, man. He's entitled to fan the way he wants, and Cat's his guy, and he's going to defend him to the death.
But he's defending against people that's not even. He's like shadow boxing. Like nobody is out here even killing.
Sometimes people just feel the need to spar, even if there's not anybody.
It's all right. Listen, it's all right, David Smith, man. I have full conversations by myself. Sometimes I gotta let it out.
But you know what I'm noticing of late with the fan base is they like a player if that player plays the way they feel that player should play. Yeah. So like there's. And not just, I'm not even talking about this chat, just on Twitter. Everybody loves Cat because he was physical against Washington. He threw down a dunk against Washington and something. Oh, that's Cat. That's the way he should play. Or if he plays like that, I can respect him. Let Cat play the way Cat plays. He's been in the league 10 years.
Here it is. This is what started it all. Like King Ribby, don't do that, right?
Okay. All right. So, okay, fine. Like somebody brushes you, pass you on the subway, and you tackle them down to the ground. You know what I mean?
Put your foot on their neck.
A lot of fans, and I'm one of the ones too. We want to see you keep that same energy when the guy does well. You know, we're so quick to throw guys up under the bus when they, they doing wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's okay for you to admit, okay, he played better than what he did last night. You know, I even shouted out somebody on Twitter Space earlier today asking where he was at because he was so much looking to throw Mike Brown up under the bus before the last, 2 games, you know what I mean? So where's that energy at? I mean, you see anything different, So I think with him, when you say shadow boxing, he's shadow boxing because he's not going to get a conversation from the guys that have been throwing Cat up under the bus. Because Cat did his thing, over the last couple of games. You even see him sliding his feet trying to get charges, even though we all knew that it didn't look so well. But, he's giving an effort, and that's all that we want. Give an effort, you know what I'm saying? Like you care, you know what I'm saying, to be better at things we know that you've been weak at, and he's been doing what he's doing. But yeah, man, shout out to those, you know what I'm saying, that do come back and realize when a player they're throwing up under the bus and they come back and they do their thing the next game and you still come out and speak upon them instead of speaking upon them when they have a bad game. So
that's a fact. But the other thing is let players be the players that they are.
Right.
Let Brunson be Brunson. He don't have to be Halliburton. So now you like him now because he had 10 assists, but when he's playing his game, it's a problem. We like Cat when he's dunking, but when Cat is playing his game, it's a problem. Cat is a multiple year All-Star, 2-time, All NBA. He's been in the league 10, 11. We already know who he is. He has a right to his game. And it's been successful for him, and it's helped us as well. You know what I mean? So I think we just have to allow players to be who they are and not feel like, oh, because you're a 5, you need to play this way. Because you're a point guard, you need to play this way. No, he's a different type of 5. He has an expanded skill set. I'm not just going to stick him underneath the box and tell him to go to work and not take advantage of his other skill set. You know what I mean? I'm not going to take Brunson, taking the scoring away from Brunson and tell, I just want you to be a Steve Nash, just facilitating. If it comes back to you, then take the shot. No. Brunson got to be Brunson, Cat got to be Cat, and let's just start appreciating players for who they are. That's it. Stop trying to change them into something else.
Hey, one more thing. Let's say something real quick.
Pacone be Pacone. Yeah.
I just seen it again, and I wanted to say something about it before, but I just seen it again. I want to shout Ant Edwards out, and this is why I want to shout him out. Because last night at the game, when it was all over, he took his jersey off and turned around and threw it to somebody that never thought that they was going to get a jersey. And that's real big as far as him. I don't been at games where I don't see guys, they take their jersey off and they give it to a known person. You know what I'm saying? But when you reach back and give something to a person that's not as fortunate as them other guys that work hard to be in those positions and everything, their hard-earned dollars and everything, and you turn and show them the love like that, that's real big. That's real big of a player. You really appreciating the fans. Your man is your man. Celebs are celebs. But when you do something for somebody that's way, way less fortunate than them, that goes a long way. And I just wanted to shout Ant Edwards out for doing that, last night in the building. Even though they was a Minnesota fan, but them people, they was not even thinking they was going to, get a jersey. So he made somebody's, life really, appreciated about them saving their hard-earned money and paying at these games, and I wish some of the players on our team would do that, especially on the road, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? Especially out there when you got so many hip-hop dudes and so many other famous, think about the fans that's there traveling and, show them more love, So I just wanted to say that, give out some. But besides that, we killed you, Aaron. Besides that, we killed you. Take that with you.
Oh, boy. Anybody else have any questions for the panel? Nope. All right. Anybody in the chat got questions for the panel?
Yeah, I got a question. What do you think is going to be really the turning point far as knowing that the Knicks have really arrived this season? I know what my turning point thought is, but I just want to know from y'all what you think your turning point is going to be far as knowing that the Knicks are really arrived this season.
For me, it's being top of the East by the time the All-Star break come around. And if we're not the top, at least be 1 or 2. If we 1 or 2 by the time, Valentine's Day come around, I think we cooking with gas. That's mine.
I would say the Phil Jackson 40-20 rule. If we're 40-20 after 60 games, then I'm all in. It's real to me. Like that's a big sample size. That means that you're winning 2/3 of your games. You're probably up near the top of the Eastern Conference. And Jackson was an awful general manager, but he knew how to coach and he knew what championship teams look like. And if he says that that's the bar, I'm going to listen to him about that. So that's kind of, if we're 40-20 after 60 games or better, then that lets me know that this team has arrived, is real deal, and it's a threat to win the championship.
I would say if we won against the top teams in the East and the West, then I would be like, you know what? This team is just, look how they beat Houston. Well, I don't even know where Houston is now. Whoever the top teams are in the respective conferences, if they got like a really good record against those teams, yeah, definitely. I'd be like, yeah, the Knicks have arrived.
I could tell you, like, back in the days, because we all about the same age. You remember that game with the belt used to be? I used to be like, you get warm, you get hot, you get hot. Well, the answer that you just gave, sis, you was real warm to where I was at.
AJ,
I would look at the streaks, right? So you see how we have, we started with a 2-game, then we get a 3-game losing streak, which I don't want to see again this season. I don't want to see another 3-game losing streak. But then you want to you want to see the next streaks, right? The next, 7, 8, 9, 10 games winning streak. And in that winning streak, you take care of some good teams in there too, not just streaks where you play, Brooklyn back to back, and then you go in and you play, another bad team back to back, so with some good teams in there. So I'm looking for it this season. If we have a couple of digits winning streak, if we have a, 1 or 2 of those, you're like, okay, we're one of the good teams now, or we one of the best teams, I should say. We already a good team. Like, I'm trying to be the best teams. Because last season, I don't know if you remember Cleveland, in terms of regular season, they were the better teams, them and OKC, but they had a lot of winning streaks, So that's how I want to compare our team to what they were doing last season.
Everybody had great answers. Everybody. I can't knock nobody's answer. And this question came about because I saw it last night's game. And I was thinking to myself, I wonder, when can I say that the Knicks have landed as far as they're really ready this season? And the question came about because I was watching Dante DiVincenzo last night on defense, right? And I'm watching how he's jumping the offense. I'm watching how the high pick and roll he was jumping in. He was getting his hands on a lot of, of our offensive sets. So with him doing that, I said to myself, well, of course, some more rumors are going to be coming about as far as with him coming back. Why? Even more now, because he's played in that system in Golden State. So he knew a lot of the things that we was running because Mike Brown was there too. So he knows that system. So my thing is, I can't wait to see when we play Golden State. Because if we play Golden State, and though they are the bread and butter of this system that Mike Brown is trying to implement amongst us, and they can't stop us, if they can't stop us running their own thing, I said to myself, by watching Dante jump things last night, the Knicks will arrive if Golden State can't stop their own selves, but in a different uniform. The league should not be able to stop us. And how Mike is playing, and we getting up all these trades and all that. No, we're not shooting a lot of trades. There are a lot of wide open shots that we have never seen before. That's why they're getting them trays up. That system is creating for these shots to be open and these shots to be taken. And when you receive the ball and that shot it's not open, make that next extra pass, and that shot to be open. But I just thought about that last night. I wonder what it's going to be like when we play Golden State, because I'm just watching how Dante is getting his hands on a lot of the offensive set because he know what's supposed to happen versus, you know what I'm saying, I'm not in the system no more, but I'm on defense to it. So that's the only reason why I asked that question, man. But Jay Boogie is really looking to see what we look like when we play Golden State. Sacramento, I ain't even thinking about them jokers. They on something different. We don't even care what they running. They ain't even trying to run that system no more.
Yeah.
I heard that when we played Chicago, Kevin Herter told Mike Brown said Kevin Herter told him that he recognized all the stuff that we was running because of what he did in Sacramento.
Right.
Yeah.
So Boogie's right. Boogie's definitely right.
Yeah.
It's the mark of a superior team if they know what you're gonna run and they can't stop it anyway.
Yep.
Right. If they know exactly what's coming and they can't stop it, that's Jalen Brunson in a nutshell, right?
Yeah. For sure.
Hey.
Yeah. Shout out to King Scientist. Appreciate you. Salute Queen and the Four Kings. It's Lord Scientist. How about Deuce? The Deuce is on the loose. Brooklyn is in the building. Appreciate you. One of our silent listeners who was able to give us a shout out in the chat today. Listen, I think the Knicks are going to win different ways, you know, and that's what I like about this team is that we can win in different ways. When we play, who did we play before Minnesota? And
Washington
Wizards.
The Wizards. I forgot what team it was, but they were doing their best to take Brunson out of the game. And then Cat, stepped up and had a monster game. Last night, to Jeff's point on the show earlier, Brunson and Cat were okay, but the other players stood up. So it's about, even when those guys aren't scoring, their gravity creates space for other guys. Even if you want to load up on Cat, it's fine. We got other players that can score. You want to load up on Brunson, that's fine. We got other, players. That's what makes this offense so dynamic. That it really is becoming a pick your poison offense. Let's talk about Mike Brown for a little bit. What are you seeing from him? And that could be him personally, that could be from press conferences, that can be from what you're seeing in the team. But what can you glean as far as Mike Brown and his stamp on this team through 8 games, Ajay?
Well, he's it's funny because I was watching the game yesterday and I was like, man, look at Mike Brown sitting down, like there's literally no expression on his face, as if he's not that he's not observing the game, but he's not as animated as Tom Thibodeau used to be, or standing on the sideline yelling and screaming. It's just a different style, man. It's a different style. So he there was a couple of games. The first Bulls game, I was a little bit annoyed because I'm like, I felt like the guys didn't come prepared. And when the guys don't come prepared, you got to look at the coach, right? But it's early in the season, so you don't want to, maybe they're not on the same page yet. They're trying to get there. But again, it looks like it is a different style of coaching, and it's going to take some time. And I think you mentioned that too, Queen. Sometimes, the coach have to figure out the players, but the players also have to figure out the coach, right? And it takes time for that to happen. So it's gonna work out better, for the better as the season goes on. It's a different style. He's calm, and there are a few, like, he always greets the players. He always have like a little conversation with them. When they coming off, maybe giving them a couple of pointers. This is what you did wrong. This is what I need you to do in such and such situation. And he takes time to talk to those players. And I think he also the assistants talk to him every now and then. You see, like, he's listening to the assistants. I don't know if he applies what they tell him, because you have no idea what they're telling him, but at least there's a conversation going on during the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's something we're not used to, having had Thibodeau the last few years. Listen, you don't know how that's going to translate, if it's good or bad. You hope for the best, right? You hope that it's good. And listen, right now you have a positive record, so let's just see how it goes. But it's a different style, and you could see what he's trying to do out there. Okay, he says it, and then you starting to see what it is that he's saying that he wanted to do. So it's no secret what he's doing.
Jerrell?
Just him being more comfortable dialing down the rotation. His coaching style obviously is different from Tibbs, but just the way the rotation has been so far has been different. Not completely different every game, but I like the fact that he can start whoever at what time, and sometimes I don't know who's coming into the game. I actually like stuff like that. I like to keep the other team on their toes, and he does a lot with that when it comes to the bench. His coaching style, I agree with AJ when it comes to him talking to the players. He talked to Cat a long time. One time I saw him talking to OG one time. He was coming off the court. You don't usually see that often in the NBA, especially when it comes to vets. But it just, I don't know, maybe I think it's just him being more comfortable. He's already a vocal guy, period. But yeah, I think he's just getting more comfortable. That's all.
Yeah, for sure. I love the way he handles the press conferences as well. You actually get something out of the press conferences, right? I actually listen to the press conferences now because I feel like I'm going to learn something about him and his approach, and his thoughts on the game, as opposed to just stock answers. Now, when things get really tight, will that continue? We'll see. But for now, I like it. Boogie and then Geoff.
I believe, looking at this record right here, that we're 5-0. When Mike Brown first got here, he showed film and footage of us losing games in the Garden. I do believe he brought that to the attention. You must protect this home court. I think it's a couple of games we might have let down and might have lost if it would have been the other way. If we'd still been having the coach from last season. He's a professional guy, and I've always been saying that, that this is the most, and what is the word I'm looking for? This is the most talented coach we have ever had in New York. This guy is more talented in so many different ways. I can't put Phil in it because he never coached, and he only had one system. But this guy comes from multiple systems up under multiple leaders, and he also was a championship carrying coach in Cleveland. So he has a lot of ways and a lot of knowledge that he can bring forth to the games, whereas guys are going to respect that and should pay attention to it. And the same thing that he's acknowledging them in something that they don't know is the same way he receives. He already spoke upon, he wants you to question him and let him know things about you so we can both be on the same page. So he's letting it be known that I'm here to give I'm here to give adjustments and to take adjustments. We both have to understand one another. And this guy, he's just real smart. He's intelligent over there on that bench and everything. You heard them say a couple of nights. I can't remember what night it was, but they even said, he took time off from being a coach at a point in time during the game and allowed the assistant coach to be the lead guy of one of the games. So he's doing things that we're not used to seeing done. We're not used to seeing guys do, and that's from his leadership. To be a good follower, you got to have a good leader. And Leon brought this guy here. and he's a leader in so many phases of the game. And guys is, acknowledging that, and they're, believing and following his footsteps. And when they're wrong, he's correcting them. And if he does something wrong and one of the players realize something, he allows them to tell him what he did wrong so he don't do it again, man. Mike Brown is here to get a championship. This right here, a championship will go real, real far on his resume, far as, him being a coach, you know what I'm saying? Far as winning a championship, he got so many, with Golden State. He got, I think, 2 of them with Popovich, but he don't have one far as himself where he's coached through a championship, and he wants to do it here. I'm glad he's here. Welcome, Mike Denzel Brown. I'm glad you're here with the Knicks. And do your thing, man. Get us there, man. We damn sure got the right fan base. And we damn sure got the right guys that's willing to get it from you. So the guys is happy on the team. You can just tell and look at how everybody is cheering on a play before the big play happen. You know how you can be watching the game and you don't get nothing going on until like a big play happened and everybody you can see guys before a big play happen. And if they're rooting on you to make a play, it's going to be that much better when you make the play than far as you playing into the play, the journey. The journey. This is the last thing I'm gonna say. Nas said something real important, and it makes me think about where we at. He said, everybody want to go 0 to 60 real fast, real quick, but nobody wants to count the numbers from 1 to 59, those in between numbers. And this journey right here, the journey is in between us receiving a championship. You can't hop over the steps. You must take these steps, you know what I'm saying? And that's why we got to the point where we here now. And that's why we got to the point where what we went through, to get to here. It took steps for us to be here. And we're not finished with those steps, but you can't skip over the steps because it's going to be something that you skipped over when it comes to that deciding moment that it's going to cost you not to receive the goal that you're trying to get. But yeah, Mike Denzel Brown is in the building, New York City. Stand up.
Geoff, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think that the thing that excites me about Mike Brown is 4.4. And you don't know what 4.4 is. That's the number of dribbles per possession for Jalen Brunson so far this year. Down from 6.1. So that means he's cut 25% of his dribbles down since Mike Brown has taken over. I think that's a huge deal. I think that helps the offense tremendously. I think it's been an adjustment for him, and I think he's taking to it well, and I think you're starting to see the fruits of that labor. I think in the last 3 games or 4 games, he has 29 assists and 10 turnovers. So I think you're starting to see more point guarding. I think it's really funny that in the game against Minnesota, he was 23, 7, and 10, and nobody says a word about him. like it's almost like an afterthought. Like we had a point guard, 23.7. He almost had a triple double, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, and it's just like nobody says a word. But as David Smith says, I think that's the right range for him. I think that's, I don't know that we need him to be a 30-point a game scorer. Like there are nights when we'll need him to do that, but I'm very comfortable with the thought that he's comfortable with getting the ball out of his hands, trusting that it'll come back to him when it needs to, and just really playing within the framework of the offense and learning how to play different, because I think he's done this before, like when he was in Dallas, but that hasn't how he's had to play for the last 4 years, with the Knicks. He's always been the guy, the dominant guy. And now he's changing his mindset. He's changing his role and doing whatever he can to help the team win. And that was something that we saw with De'Aaron Fox. We saw a similar decline in his dribbles per game under Mike Brown. So I think that shows that Brunson is paying attention, that the system is working, and that he's trying to maximize the offense and not just maximize Jalen Brunson.
But I don't think that was ever his intention, though, to maximize himself. I think whatever he was doing, he thought was helpful to the team. I will say this, though. Your best players have to be your best players come playoff time. And I that is great, what we're seeing now with OG and Bridges and everybody, stepping up. But your best players have to be your best players come playoff time.
But if they have to game plan for more things, it's easier for your best players to be their best at playoff
It definitely is. It definitely is. But one of the things that makes him great is his ability to knock down shots when the lights are bright. And we don't know that about these the players that we have right now. And so listen, I'm not saying that we should play differently. I'm just saying that when things get tight, you need your best players to be your
He's still
best
Captain
players.
Clutch. I agree with you there.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. And you're right. Having more options does allow him to have more space. And when they try to crowd him and take him out of the game, the other guys step up. All of that is good. But you think about Chicago with Michael Jordan, you think about the Lakers with Kobe Bryant, those players around them, they played well too. They hit shots too, but you knew Michael Jordan needed to show up. You knew Kobe Bryant needed to show up, and Brunson is going to need to show up. Come playoff time. So I'm not sure about an equal opportunity. I don't really know how to phrase it, because
well, equality of outcome is not the same thing as equality of opportunity, right? We don't need everybody to average 18 points per game. I don't think that it's not like that's not what it's about. I mean, it's just about the offense functioning at an elite level, and that's what's happening right now. And so whether that means that Brunson has 14 points or 40 points, he can be effective either way. And just having that optionality is what's going to make the difference with this team. It's harder to key in on what the Knicks are doing right now than it has been in the past, and that's going to help us.
I agree with that. I agree with that. At the same time, your best player got to be your best player come playoff time.
It sounds like you're saying all this is gravy, but when the game is on the line, I want the ball in Jalen Brunson's hands. Period.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Regular season is regular season. Playoffs is something totally different.
Hey Queen, man, I'm real quick. I'm just gonna tell y'all blessings to y'all. I'm gonna get ready to lay it down. I love y'all. Keep doing what you're doing. Shout out to the amazing chat. But as you might ain't but I'm gonna tell y'all, listen, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this channel. I don't know what the total number is or whatever. I can't see that. My laptop is down. My baby got it. But make sure you're liking this show, and make sure you liking any other content show that you guys, you be on in the chats of those shows, because this is our living room. So make sure you like and subscribe and share the channel, because this is a great, family and network right here, man. God bless you all. Everybody stay in the greatest form of health. My lingo, anybody going through anything, we don't pray that you go through it. We pray that you get through it. And, let's go Knicks. Continue on doing what we got New Jersey next. New Jersey. I don't want any, New Jersey. That's what we got.
Much respect. I call them that too, but
yeah, only thing in that building is the Liberty, and they can't wait to get back in there, for what they done this season, man. And hey, another thing, any hockey fans out, Rangers, tighten up. Come on. We can't win in the building. Come on now. They got me. I gotta buy my man some more Miami Heat tickets and go to the game because the Hurricanes beat my Rangers in the crib. He got me like that almost 2 years ago. So come on, Rangers. New York, stand up, man. Let's go. God bless everybody. Shout out to the Jets. Shout out to the Jets. They won it the other day. What's that? Seven picks over the next 2 years, 4 first rounders, 3 If you ain't winning,
We'll
I might as well
squander
get
them
rid of
all,
you.
Boog. We'll find a way to ruin even that.
Hey, man, you know what you do, man. You know what the number one pick, man, go draft a kicker, a placeholder. Do that.
Have a good night,
wouldn't
bro.
put it past them.
Hey, God bless you all, man. Love
Appreciate
y'all.
you.
Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's.
Appreciate you. Always a pleasure to have Boog. For those that don't know, that's his voice on the intro and the outro. And the long intro, which I don't do too much anymore. I might pull it out every now and again. Shout out to Silk Sutton. Hey, Queen, I heard Geoff fight. Is he don't want to be off ball? Cap not fighting it. JB a true leader. Yeah, Brunson just wants to win. He don't care. He doesn't care. And I do want to get to this. Did I lose it? Here it is. Salute Queen. Mike Brown has replaced spamming the high pick and roll with stacked pick and roll to create spacing within his wheel offense. All kind of cuts from all players. That's Lee, by the way. Shout out to him. Appreciate you rocking with us and supporting the channel. Shout out to all the Nick of Time. Appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, I'm liking the offensive versatility. I'm liking Bridges on ball. I'm liking cuts off of Karl Anthony Towns. I'm liking the rotation, particularly the tightening of the rotation. I know Ajay was tight when the rotation went from 418 down to 9, but I thought it was necessary. And right after that, the bench started to perform. Right, just having that consistency of that flow. And I also like Mike Brown, taking the heat, so to speak, and blaming himself for the bench's poor play. And maybe it's my fault. I'm running different people in and out. They don't get a chance to play with each other. They don't know when they're coming in, when they're coming out. And I felt like I needed to help them by tightening up the rotation, and it worked. And the benches, and the benches is looking good. I like that about him. Obviously, I like the press conferences as well. Yeah, I like the rotations. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with Mike Brown right now. Listen, we'll see. At the end of the day, it comes down to winning in the playoffs. Like, all of this is really nice, but it comes down to winning in the playoffs. And I think what we won't know until we get into the playoffs is how good is he with in-game adjustments, and how good is he with matching the lineups to the opposition and what the Knicks need. So that's that type of assessment can't happen until the playoffs, and that's when it really when it really matters. But for now, I really like what I'm seeing from Mike Brown. Defensively, we look a little better. I mean, I don't know, some games we look better than others, so hopefully that'll come along as well. Yeah. Anything else before we get out of here?
Nah, man. We on a 3-game winning streak, right?
I believe it's 3 games.
Yep.
Yeah, ain't nobody gonna have that much to say, Steph, on the 3-game winning streak. Let us lose a couple games though.
No, let's not do that. We already did that. We did that last week. Let's not go back to that. We had the 3-game losing streak. Let's stockpile some wins. This is a lot more fun when we're winning than it is to, I don't like having to avoid the pitchforks and the torches. Like, vibes are immaculate right now. Let's keep them there.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's just us as a fan base.
Right.
When we up, we win in the chip. We lose 2 games in a row. Oh, who's this Mike Fizdale? I heard somebody saying that in the chat. Like, when we lost 2, I think it was 2 in a row. Oh my goodness, Knick fans was running crazy. Cat, Hart, Mike Brown, all three of them were getting it.
We won 3 straight, and AJ ain't even green no more.
I know, right?
The white balance. It just.
If we lose, you better not be green next week. I know
Yeah,
that.
listen, computer, the laptop, random man does what he wants.
Shout out to Mega. We miss you always
Mega?
in the chat. I know he said he's been busy, but appreciate you rocking with us, part of the family from the beginning, man. So we appreciate you. East Blue Drew, we appreciate you. Sherwin, David Smith in here putting in that work on Cat's behalf. We appreciate you.
Shadowboxing.
He came in ready. Too.
Yeah, we need to leave David Smith alone, man.
No, that's my guy. He knows it. A Train, always a pleasure, sis. Wiz popped in for a little bit. Appreciate you. Parish Duggar actually was in for a little bit as well. Appreciate you. As well. King Ribby, always a pleasure. Knicks Nation. Silk Sutton, appreciate you. Appreciate the super chat as well. The Merry Prankster Lee, appreciate you. Always rocking, supporting the show, supporting the replay, the recap show as well. I don't think I missed anybody. I hope I did. If I did, Kerry Cox. How can I? Ralph Unreal. Kareem Grant. Yes, what up, fam?
Wiz was here. I don't know if he's still here.
Yes. Yeah. Wiz was here as well. Could be listening in the background as well. Parish Duggar is in the house. Yep, Lord Scientist was in the house. Shout out to him. You can't say by way of Texas, he get real upset. The phone be ringing off the hook. Make sure you let them know I'm from Brooklyn. All right, Lord Scientist. We know. We know you from Brooklyn. Parish Duggar, it's starting to feel like Clarkson is becoming a poor man's DiVincenzo for us. I miss Devo, man.
Yeah, me too.
I think Devo is a stronger defender and a better shooter. But Clarkson, when he's on, he can drop 30. He can drop 30. But yeah, I miss Devo a lot.
So you would rather have Devo and Randall than Cat? Like, I don't miss Devo at all because I'm glad to have Towns.
I don't think she said all that.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's the cost of doing business, is what I'm saying. Devo is great and all, but I would rather have Towns here than both of those two. And so I
will tell you this though: if we were able to keep Hartenstein, I would have liked to have seen that team with Hartenstein, Randall, Devo, OG. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we could have still got Bridges. We probably could have, right? We probably still could have gotten Bridges, because Bridges was actually still on the team before we got Towns. No, we traded for Bridges first.
We had Bridges.
Yeah, we had Bridges first.
I wouldn't have mind that team with Hartenstein. Hartenstein.
We traded Bridges for what was that player's name? I forgot his name. That went to Brooklyn.
Yeah, it didn't matter. Yeah, Bogdanovich was one of them. But there was also
Bogdanovich,
a few other throw-ins that from the end of the bench as well.
And 15 first-round picks. Queen, I gotta get out of here.
I appreciate you.
Jerrell,
both coaches were in the building today. I wanted to shout them out as well. Appreciate both of you.
Yeah, coaches. All right, shout out to the chat. Jerrell, Geoff, Queen.
We
Monday. We have a show on Monday, right? Next week.
Have a show. We got a show on Monday. I got to get myself together. The Knicks played Monday.
This past Monday we didn't have a show because they playing. I don't know if they're playing next Monday, but whenever they don't play, we'll have a show.
We'll have a show. Yeah.
All right. We'll have a recap show on Monday because we play Brooklyn on Sunday.
Yes, we will have a recap show on Monday for sure.
And let me know if you need to change up the time because of your work schedule, because I'm pretty flexible. If we need to go earlier or later, whatever, just give me a shout. Text me.
Have a good night, AJ.
All right.
Yeah. Peace out, bro.
That's the best white balance he's had since he's been on the show.
Yep.
Right?
3-game winning streaks do well for him. That's all I say.
I mean, it's not blown out white.
Won 6 in a row.
Right,
if we win the championship, it'll be like the Mount of Transfiguration. He'll just be there with Jesus glowing.
Geoff crazy.
He'll be in 4K. Yeah. Oh boy. Anyway, we appreciate you. Like Geoff said, we'll do the recap show Monday. Adja and I will preview the Knicks next week's shows. We'll do that Monday night. Whoever wants to hop on can hop on that show as well. It'll be around 7:30. But until next time, fam, appreciate you.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?